up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
I'm just candy. I got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants.
No words, I have the best words. But there's no better word than stupid.
All right, what do you say we get right into it? What's happening, guys? Welcome back. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much. To the mods, appreciate you keeping that chat a safe place. And thank you for everybody that's contributing to the show. Many ways you can do it. You can do it right here up on Venmo. Take a picture of that. Send it to your phone. Takes you right to my Venmo. Send a buck or two. Bust a buck. Try your luck. Support some independent media. You can also become a channel member just underneath me for $2.99 for the month. Or for as little as $5 a month, you can join patreon.com/Boston Brian. That would be fantastic. Thank you to everybody who's contributed this morning already in the earlier show. Thank you, Nancy. I saw your Venmo. Very kind of you. I really, really appreciate that. And thank you, everybody else. I really, really do think it's important that we continue to support independent media, whether that's me or anybody else that gives you the most information, or like I said, the most educational information, whatever you want to call it, takes up the most time in your day. But we got a lot to talk about. They want Charlie Kirk's face on money. It's in the info. It's in the fucking title, and I'm not lying. They really do want Charlie Kirk's face on some money now in this country. We'll also be talking about Trump's, apparent sudden mood switch again as it pertains to Russia and Ukraine, and his statements, his speech at the UN the other day, where it seemingly was kind of like he was behind Russia and was kind of pissed off that they didn't really get this whole thing finished in 3 days like they were supposed to. I don't know. The whole thing was just weird, but now he's coming out with what is, again, some stronger rhetoric against Vladimir Putin in Russia, again, seemingly allowing Zelensky affording him the ability to shoot the shit down if it comes anywhere near his airspace, right? So, but before we get into that, and what else are we going to be talking about? We got a ton of stuff to talk about tonight. We'll be talking about Donald Trump found his lackey, as were just called the other day, talked about how the prosecutor in Virginia there resigned. What was it? Eric Seibert or something his name was. And Trump now installed his own prosecutor. Well, that prosecutor has James Comey in the crosshairs to be indicted, apparently. We'll also be, like I said, taking a look at, let me see, put this on the screen so you guys can see this. Yeah, that one. So we'll be taking a look at some of his stupid speech here as it pertains to, again, Russia and Ukraine, his stupid True Social post. Here is St. Javelin on Twitter that gives their kind of rundown of the statements during Zelensky and Trump's conference after the UN speech. So we'll be taking a look at that. Apparently, Kash Patel has some new information, or is expanding the investigation into the murder of Charlie Kirk. And again, that is raising even more questions. Apparently, even looking at multiple accomplices, where the shot came from. We'll go into that later on in the show. But again, just raising more and more questions. And then there's this video that's going around on YouTube. I think right now at this time, it's got almost 5.5 million views, which is supposed to show us new evidence that changes everything. So we'll be diving into that later as well. We got some outspoken guests here on Russian state media that apparently spit the truth a little bit, so much so that the presenter gets a little uncomfortable and tries to shut it down. We got another clip here from Russian state media where they're, again, lauding Trump, trying to give him the Nobel Peace Prize. But, we'll take a look at that. And then if we have time, there's a clip here from old Chucky Schumer on with Dana Bash being questioned about the government shutdown vote. So we'll take a look at Chucky Schumer and see if he's, again, instilling any confidence in anybody, or giving any definitive answers, or giving any strong response, or, laying it down on the line. And making it so that the Democrats won't budge. He gives the beginning of it is okay. but then it starts to fade off on that. So we'll be taking a look at all that. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. We're on our way to 15,000 subscribers, but we can only get there with your help. So I really appreciate it. Let's see if we can get into, what do you say we laugh a little bit? You know, all this shit tends to kind of get on everybody's nerves. You know, a lot of this stuff is stressful. You get anxious. You're tired of hearing about it. You're sick of it. It fucking runs you down. What do you say we start this off on a lighter note? You know, why don't we start the show off on a light note? Well, let me bring this in for you guys. Let me bring this in for you guys. All right, there we go. We're gonna start this off on the right note. So let me bring this in. And this is Jon Stewart, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if this is AI. I don't know if you actually did this, but you know, whatever. We're gonna enjoy it either way. So what do you say? Turn your speakers up. Here we go.
I've got but one thing to say. Just one little phrase. You tell them. Go fuck yourself! 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 Wait, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself! Just go fuck yourself! Everybody! Fuck yourself! Just go fuck yourself! Fuck yourself! Just go fuck yourself! Fuck yourself! Just go fuck yourself! Go fuck yourself! Go fuck
All right. Come on. Tell me that didn't have a ring to it. Tell me you don't like dancing and grooving to that one, right? A little bit easy to dance to on that one, I think. I think everybody can get a little piece. Let me, one more time. Sorry. Hold on. A little bit. What? You got? Sorry. All right. Just figured I'd get everybody grooving a little bit in the moment here. All right. I'd start everybody on the right foot here. Appreciate that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that was created on TikTok. I don't know who fucking put that out, but I could groove to that a little bit more. All right. So sorry. Because we had to start off on the right note, let's get right into this ridiculousness, guys. I mean, does it get any more crazy? Yes, it does. It does. This week gets more crazy, and it does because of this. Charlie Kirk could be placed on U.S. currency under new House GOP proposal. I think I have there's something there is. I think I have a response to that. I do have a response to that. Yeah, I think that's the proper response to that. Sorry. Anyways, Reps Abe Hamada and August Fluffer want Treasury to authorize 400,000 silver dollars with Kirk's likeness. Oh, Jesus, we're living in the Twilight Zone. First on Fox, a pair of House Republicans are pushing to have Charlie Kirk memorialized, on U.S. currency in the wake of his assassination earlier this month. Republican Study Committee Chairman August Fluffer from Texas and Rabe Ab Hamade from Arizona plan to introduce a bill later this week directing the U.S. Treasury to mint 400,000 silver dollar coins with Kirk's likeness. The pair first told Fox News Digital. In the latest proposal in a litany of bills and resolutions introduced by Republican lawmakers to honor the conservative activist after he was shot and killed during a college campus speaking event in Utah earlier this month. The coins, which would be considered legal tender, would have Kirk's image on one side and feature the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant," on the other. Well done, good and faithful servant. Yeah, it's tough, really, to kind of like, is this real life? What the fuck are we talking about? What are we doing here? Like, we'll push it. This is the envelope's being fucking stretched a little bit far here. This is fucking absolutely insanity at this point. I mean, he's a fucking podcaster that went around to fucking college campuses, talked to people for a couple minutes, and then fucking the next person would come and they talked to him for a couple, and then he fucking had turning point action committees for fucking MAGA youth and all those, the fireworks and shit. Like, other than what are we talking about? This is the guy that didn't want to fly in a plane with black pilots. This is the guy that wanted, state-sponsored, televised, Coca-Cola fucking paid for public executions that children as young as 12 should watch. Like, what the fuck? So then what? Any day now, Melissa Hortman should be on the $100 bill, I guess, because considering she actually served in our government and was, actually assassinated by a MAGA person that, again, had a hit list that he was working through. So she should get the 100, right? Give me the fucking 20, maybe. Give me the 20. I'll take the 20. If fucking Charlie's getting 400,000 silver dollars. I mean, this is fucking outrageous. Outrageous. They would also be inscribed with Kirk's full name, Charles James Kirk, the year 2026, as well as the U.S. full name and motto. The coin's final design would be selected by the Treasury Secretary in consultation with the sitting president, in this case, Donald Trump. Thanks for that fucking clarification. Since 1892, Congress has authorized commemorative coins to celebrate and honor historic American patriots. He also hailed Kirk as an American treasure. Good fucking grief. His tireless... Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to stop myself from gagging on this one. He tirelessly sacrificed his time, energy, and money to save this nation for future generations. Ultimately, at the radical leftists, he sacrificed his life. His life must be commemorated, and this coin will allow us to pass a reminder of his remarkable life on to generations to come. Shouldn't his words do that? Right? Wouldn't his actions and his words, you think, would do that? No? Fluker said passage in their legislation would make Kirk at 31 the youngest ever American to be placed on U.S. currency at the time the coin's minted, with the Texas Republican calling for a fitting honor that cements his extraordinary legacy alongside presidents and founding fathers who shaped our republic. What? Alongside our founding fathers. The fucking founding fathers and presidents and shit. Charlie Kirk. What? What? Oh, boy. What is going on? That is fucking outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a conservative titan whose transformational impact on millions of Americans deserves permanent recognition alongside our nation's greatest leaders and influential figures. Suck my fucking belly button, you assholes. Alongside our nation's greatest leaders and influential fucking figures. A law passed by Congress in 1866 bars the image of a living person from being used on U.S. currency. Several yada, 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 yada. Here's the bill. What is it? What's it called? HR what? Fucking HR nonsense. All right. Well, we'll see where that goes. I'm honestly kind of lost for words on that one. Like, I thought the statue was fucking pushing it. I knew the statue was pushing it. Like, the fucking signs around the Capitol and shit was pushing it. But the statue was way, kind of like you're stretching it way over the line there. But a coin? No. Nope. No. Sorry. We have to draw the fucking line somewhere in this, right? Somewhere there has to be a fucking line to be drawn where we cannot just start putting Charlie Kirk's name alongside the presidents and founding fathers of this fucking country in minted coins and statues and shit. Can we fucking all agree on that, please? Can we just be realistic? Can we be fucking real with ourselves? He's a podcaster that fucking knew Don Jr., used to carry his ball bag and his fucking golf bag. got the opportunity to start the fucking Turning Point shit, got a ton of money thrown in his lap, started doing fireworks and talking to stadiums and at colleges and shit. He immediately hooked up with the Trump family so he couldn't fucking lose. Jesus Christ almighty. All right. Well, let's not spend too much time and fucking bring the world down on that one because there's more stories we got to get to like this bullshit, right? And as we talked about the other day on the show, let me see if I can make this a little bigger so you guys can actually see it. How's that? A little better? News, and this is Midas Touch Reports here. Jim Comey reportedly to be indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia, where Trump just fired a prosecutor who opposed the case. Blatant and brazen weaponization of the government against Trump's political opponents. This says former FBI Director James Comey, for years a target of President Trump's ire, is expected to be indicted in the next coming days in the Eastern District of Virginia, where a prosecutor who opposed bringing the case was recently fired, 3 sources familiar with the matter told MSNBC. The full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey is unclear, but the sources believed that at least one element of the indictment, if it goes forward, will accuse him of lying to Congress during his testimony on September 30th, 2020, about whether he authorized a leak of information. The 5-year statute of limitations on that charge would lapse on Tuesday. Jesus Christ. Talk about fucking cutting that one close. And this is the one, again, we were just talking about where the other guy, because he was being pressured to, again, bring cases like this against James Comey, or cases like that bullshit fucking mortgage fraud case that they wanted to put against Letitia James, which again is still on the books, I guess, is still up in the air and it seemingly could happen. Again, it looks like Donald Trump found his lackey. Looks like Donald Trump didn't have to go through too many other prosecutors here in order to find a sycophant that absolutely would, take up these ridiculous cases and bring against, false charges against, reputable people in our government, regardless of what you think of these people. But it's not about who it's against. It's about the actions being taken, when clearly the person that was just in this position, rightly so, had nothing to say that, yes, I'm going to bring this case. Yes, I would win this. Yes, I have evidence to suggest that I could fucking charge anybody with anything, right? But seemingly in a day or two, since this lady come in here, she's seen something that Eric Siebert didn't previously know, even though he was in there, he had no knowledge of. But clearly this woman, I forget her name, the woman that Trump brought in, but apparently she stumbled upon some really prime evidence the day she fucking got into there. You know what I mean? But I mean, just blatant, clear corruption. Just again, North Korea type, like, okay, you're not going to follow my illegal orders. Okay, you're fired or you're dead, and fucking we'll find somebody that will. Okay, you won't. Okay, next, it's just how many people you can get in there until somebody's going to say yes to your illegal order, and then you keep that person. It's really not that difficult. It's what a lot of authoritarians do. It's what a lot of dictatorial regimes do. You know what I mean? They don't bring in the smartest people. They don't bring in the most knowledgeable. They don't bring in the most competent people. They bring in the people that will say yes to everything, which is inevitably why the regimes and these assholes end up fucking hanging themselves or shooting themselves in a bunker, or, fucking being hanged in a town square by their own people, because they don't bring in smart people. They don't keep around the smart people. They kill off all those. They send all those people away. It's the people that repeatedly will not say no to the dear leader that get kept around, which again just breeds a group of inept, incompetent morons that really don't live in reality and refuse to tell the dear leader what he needs to be told, which again keeps everybody in the fucking dark. But we'll see how many charges. We'll see what the charges actually are. We'll see if he does get indicted first, and then we'll see what the charges actually are. We'll see how this goes forward. We'll see if Letitia James is still in the crosshairs, or anybody else that Donald Trump deems, a political opponent, or, anybody he wants to, throw the crosshairs on to weaponize his government against. And he's got the power to do so. And it looks like he found his lackey, again, in this particular position to take up these cases. So another distraction for the Epsteinth time. Brett Kavanaugh lied to Congress. Will he be next? Hello, pot meat kettle. Some of these are all right. All right, let's head on to this now. All right, so we're going to be talking about Donald Trump's apparent switcheroo that he wants everybody to believe he's now undertaken. He now wants everybody to believe he's incredibly frustrated. He's reached some sort of boiling point, if you want to listen to what J.D. Vance kind of had to say about the matter. He's kind of reached a tipping point, and he's reached the point where he's frustrated enough to at least say that the war is not good for Russia. Like, we're supposed to give him some points and some credits for, stating the obvious, really. But I wanted to kind of bring up this St. Javelin post because this is about the, Zelensky and Trump conference that you're looking at here, and some of the things that were discussed. So this is some of the bullet points. Zelensky, we will continue until Russia stops the war. Zelensky, thanks to American support, Ukraine has deoccupied 360 square kilometers of territory. Trump, we hold great respect for the fight Ukraine is waging. It's just wonderful. Just a weird way to put that, right? Someone that absolutely does not know what position, like hasn't been in that position before, and just to call the fight that they are waging wonderful is just an odd way to put it in a moment like this. But Trump also says NATO should shoot down Russian planes if they enter their airspace. So that's kind of a big change, right? Seemingly a big change to have Donald Trump come out and say with his own words, yeah, fucking if they enter your airspace, shoot the shit down, right? So that's one change that kind of caught everybody's attention right there. Trump says, I think Orban will stop buying Russian oil if I talk to him, and I will talk to him. Again, talking about Viktor Orban, the leader of Hungary. And again, I'm not giving him any credit here, but I do agree with the fact that it is silly for any country to be actively calling out Russia or to be, helping Ukraine in their war against Russia, to also at the same time be buying Russian oil or Russian gas and feeding the same monster, feeding the same machine that they're on the back end feeding money to Ukraine to try to fight. Like, that absolutely makes no sense. I know that Europe's done a great job of trying to decouple themselves from the Russian gas supply and Russian oil supply. But at the same time, it still doesn't make any sense to have anybody in the European Union at this point still purchasing oil from or anything from Russia at that point, again, while they're contributing and trying to help Ukraine on the back end. Like, they're pretty much funding both sides of the war at this side. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't make any sense. So that's something that I do agree with, and something that actually does make sense. The Russian economy is collapsing, Trump says. The Ukrainian army is doing well in stopping this big army. It looks like Trump also said it looks like the war in Ukraine will go on for a long time, though. Right? So again, a huge distance, a huge cry away from I can end this in 24 hours. So can we at least bring that into reality? Can we at least acknowledge how far from I'm going to end this in 24 hours? Because he's got Zelensky in a room right here, and he had Vladimir Putin in a room not that long ago in Alaska. And he said that's all he needed. All he needed was let me get Zelensky in a room, let me get Putin in a room, and I can have this ended in 24 hours. He's now had these two in a room how many times now? And his statement at this point in time, fucking September 2025, is it looks like the war in Ukraine will go on for a long time. So again, worlds away from I'm going to end this in 24 hours. Just let me talk to these guys because I'm the best negotiator here. But that kind of brings us to, Trump's True Social post here, where he says, after getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military. And can I just say, I don't think this is one of Donald Trump's. I think this is one of his. This seems like one of his handlers here that's putting out something made to look like Donald Trump said it. Because this doesn't read like a Donald Trump True Social post to me. After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Again, now that's hugely different. That's worlds away from, I believe it was people like Marco Rubio that were laughing at the thought of getting the 91 borders back, right? But this seems like Donald Trump now calling for the 91 borders to be returned in the sovereign land of territory of Ukraine to be returned in its entirety. Or at least seemingly he's going to back Ukraine's position or ability to fight for that territory back. That's what I'm getting out of that. I mean, is anybody reading this any differently? If you are, let me know in the chat and I'll be happy to discuss it. But I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win, capitalized, all of Ukraine back in its original form. right? I mean, I'm not going to, I will take a W where we can get a fucking W. So if this is real, which again, I'm not hanging my hat on, I'm not holding my breath, I'm not trusting a word he says, right? I want to see it backed up with action. I want to see it backed up with policy. I want to see it backed up with weapons and ammunition and aid being sent to Ukraine. So don't fucking count me as an asshole. Don't think I'm taking this for, his word for it here. But from what I'm reading and what it's saying, it seemingly looks like Donald Trump is now open to the idea of Ukraine getting all of its territory back. But how do you make that make sense with everything that he's already said about this? Like, forget a ceasefire. Ukraine's definitely going to have to give up so much of its territory. Like, what's the change? Where is this all coming from? Is this coming from Putin's recent meetings with, Xi Jinping? Is it, his recent meetings with Modi and Kim Jong-un? Like, where is this coming from? Because those meetings were, a week or two ago, maybe even more. So I'm kind of confused on where this whole change is coming from. But again, if that's what's going to happen and we're going to see, more support for Ukraine, then fucking so be it. I'm all for it. With time, patience, and the financial support of Europe and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started is very much an option. Right? Let's see here. Why not? Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win. Now, that's a fucking, again, he just cannot help himself but laud and drool over the Russian military and the lore that they had before they went into this full-scale invasion. You know how, everybody says they're a paper tiger, right? Everybody calls them a fucking paper tiger now. Well, Donald Trump is mad that they're a paper tiger. He can't believe that it turned out that his beloved fucking Russian military and his beloved fucking dictator, Vladimir Putin, didn't actually have that strong of a military as he says on paper. And you can tell because in this fucking UN speech, which we'll get to, you can tell because he's almost upset that Russia didn't win this war in the original 3 days that they thought it was going to take. Right? It's he's pissed off that it's taken this long and they didn't conquer Ukraine fast enough is kind of what I'm getting out of this. So it's I'm getting a whole fucking, he's all over the map as he always is. It's hard to tell what he actually feels, where this is actually going, where the policy is actually going. So again, that's what makes it so tough for everybody trying to definitively pin down Donald Trump on where something is going, even if you work for him or not. Whether you're against him or for him, it's hard to pin him down and actually get some answers out of the guy. But let's go on with this. Let's see here. What else does he say here? Why not Russia? Been taking a real military lesson we can win. This is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger, right? So he's mad. He's fuck. I've been talking about how awesome Putin is. I've been talking about how strong the Russian military is, and they should go in and get ISIS, and I would love for them to go ahead and get ISIS. And all of a sudden now it turns out that they couldn't take Ukraine in 3 days. And he's pissed off about it. And it's I don't know if that's what changed. Are you finally figuring out now that Russia's a paper tiger and they were lying about their bullshit and they had fucking trucks from 65 years ago and their tires were fucking worn out 45 years ago. And that wasn't actually ERA on the tanks. That was actually rubber. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. And they're using Katyusha rockets, right? From fucking 1941. Is that a strong military unit? Yeah. Okay. There you go, Jack. Let's see. When the people living in Moscow and all of the great cities, towns, and districts all throughout Russia find out what is really going on with this war, the fact that it's almost impossible for them to get gasoline through the long lines that are being formed, all of the other things that are taking place in their war economy, where most of their money is being spent fighting Ukraine, which has a great spirit. Let me see if I can. My apologies. It'd probably be better if I do it this way so you guys can see the whole thing. How's that? A little better? Should I make a big even pin? I'll do it that way. How's that? All right. With most of their money being spent on fighting Ukraine, which has great spirit and only getting better, Ukraine would be able to take back their country in its original form and, who knows, maybe even go further than that. What is going on? What? Now Donald Trump wants them to take parts of Russia? Is that what I'm getting? What? Ukraine would be able to take back their country in its original form and, who knows, maybe even go further than that. What the fuck has changed? Like now we're talking about parts of Russia going to Ukraine. Like wrap your fucking head around this for a second. Am I missing like some huge, like momentous thing that has happened between Putin and Trump, or Putin and the European Union, or like what is going on? Maybe even go further than that. He says he wants parts of Russia to go to Ukraine now. This fucking madman. Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and this is the first time for Ukraine to. This is the time for Ukraine to act. In any event, I wish both countries well. We will continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do what they want with them. Good luck to all. Donald Trump, President of the United States of America. That is fucking wild. That is wild. Is it not? Like just, how was it? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were talking about like Trump telling Ukraine that they were going to give up all of their, like a shitload of their territory, and they were going to have to be the ones forced to kind of capitulate. And now this, like Ukraine would be able to take back their country in its original form, and who knows, maybe even go further than that. I don't know. Russia are in Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and this is the time for Ukraine to act. Wow. I'm trying to, how do you wrap your fucking head around that one? And again, until we see action, until we see policy, until we see swift fucking justice, right? Then these are just words on a fucking screen. This is just ink on a paper. This is just bullshit coming out of his mouth, right? So where do we go from here, though? Right? Because if you listen to him here, it kind of gives off a different vibe. Let me see. I'll put this on let me see if I can put this on the screen too. Let me see if I can kind of, well, should I show you the long lines? No, let's do this one first. Let's do this one first. Because here he talks about it, and I'll see if I can kind of skip through it a little bit. But here he kind of gives off the vibe like I was talking about, like he's frustrated by this realization that Russia doesn't have the strength, the military might that he once thought they had, or he once fucking, went out and told everybody in the world they had. And he's like, that's the reason I don't know. See what you think. Tell me what you think.
I've also been working relentlessly, stopping the killing in Ukraine. I thought that would be, of the 7 wars that I stopped, I thought that would be the easiest because of my relationship with President Putin, which had always been a good one. I thought that was going to be the easiest one. But, in war, you never know what's going to happen. There are always lots of surprises, both good and bad.
It seemed, you didn't have that caveat in there when you were saying you were going to end it in 24 hours, and everybody should definitely elect you because you were definitely going to get that war ended, and every other war ended, even though we've already debunked the whole fucking 7 wars being ended bullshit by you and your administration. We've talked about it at length. There's actually some new reporting out here to suggest that's bullshit and that the fighting resumes in multiple conflicts that he talks about ending. But that's besides the point on this one. Oh, thank you, Treva. Thank you so much, Treva. Appreciate that. 13 months. Thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, see if he when he gets into this, you'll kind of, I want to know what you guys think and why you think he's kind of making this switch. I'm kind of curious. I'm definitely curious as to what you guys think. So let me know.
Everyone thought Russia would win this war in 3 days, but it didn't work out that way. It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad. No matter what happens from here on out, this was something that should have taken a matter of days, certainly less than.
He's like upset that it didn't happen. Like he's pissed that they didn't get into Kyiv and didn't put in a puppet regime, and it didn't end in fucking 3 days. And that, well, like he's frustrated that we still have to deal with those. Like he would have been happier if Kyiv was overthrown. Russia did install a fucking puppet government, and we didn't have to deal with any of this, and we just had to kind of, go in and make sure that, they weren't genociding the whole population, I guess. But I'm so confused. I don't know. Like True Social, he's talking about taking pieces of Russia now and giving it to Ukraine, and Ukraine should be able to go further than its 91 borders, or its borders at the beginning of the war. I think I should specify because that's what he said. But, I mean, and in here he's like, why didn't they end this in 3 days? These motherfuckers said they were strong. They said they had this many tanks and they couldn't even end it in 3 days.
A week. And they've been fighting for 3.5 years and killing anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 young soldiers, mostly soldiers, on both sides every single week, from 5,000 to 7,000 dead young people.
Civilians as well. Civilians. You got to add in the civilians there, Chief.
Some in cities, much smaller numbers, where rockets are shot, where drones.
Now, why? I don't see, again, why does he have to add that little fucking, like, justification in there? Like, I know you're, like, he's kind of trying to say, like, I know you're seeing the missiles and bombs go into cities, but they're really not doing much damage, is kind of what he's trying to say. That's what I'm getting from that, at least. What's he?
From 5,000 to 7,000 dead young people. And some in cities, much smaller numbers.
Like, in much smaller, I don't understand why he has to put that little fucking asterisk next to it. Like, because that's what we continuously see, right? That's what we continuously see on the news is Kyiv being hit, is the other major cities being hit and struck, because that's, where the major installations are. That's where the Capitol buildings are. That's where the government buildings are. So it tends to make the news. We also see when, rural areas are hit as well. But, what stands out, what tends to stand out is the high rises and the fucking smoke coming from the government buildings, right? So I don't know, like, it almost seems like he knows that's what you're seeing, but he's trying to kind of put a brave spin on it, so you don't actually think that Putin's actually killing people in these cities that you see burning night after night after night.
Where rockets are shot, where drones are dropped. This war would never have started if I were president. This was a war that should have never happened. It shows you what leadership is, what bad leadership can do to a country. Look what...
Again, are you talking about the fact that you've been unable to affect any change whatsoever in this war? Or are you talking about how actually Vladimir Putin has been allowed to ramp up his attacks since you got into office? Are you talking about that leadership, that lack of leadership, that inept fucking leadership? Because, again, it doesn't look good on you, regardless of who you're talking about. If you're talking about the previous administration or even the one before that, you still haven't ended this thing, and it's even getting worse under your fucking belt, right? So how about we fucking live in reality with each other, and then we can go from there? Can we agree on that at least there, you fucking orange prick?
Happened to the United States, and look where we are right now in just a short period of time. The only question now is how many more lives will be needlessly lost on both sides. China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products.
Now, I don't understand how he can say that, because didn't they literally cut, like, their fucking... Hold on. How much has EU decreased Russian imports? Let's see here. The EU has dramatically decreased its imports from Russia, with a total good imports decline of 86% between Q1 2022 and Q1 2025. Okay, let me put this on the screen here. I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it. Let's see. How's that? A little better for you guys? Can you see that? Yeah, a couple more times. Let's see. There you go. The EU has dramatically decreased its imports from Russia, with a total goods import decline of 86% between Q1 2022 and Q1 2025. For specific commodities, Russia's share of EU's petroleum oil imports fell to 2% in Q2 2025 from 29% in Q1 2021, and its share of natural gas imports dropped to 12% in Q2 2025 from 48% in Q1 2021. The EU is implementing a plan to completely phase out Russian oil and gas imports by 2027. So Donald Trump's fucking up there talking about bullshit they've already fucking put plans in motion to do, right? Like, he's complaining about it. And again, nobody likes to see the fact that you're both given to funding to Russia and also trying to fund the war against Russia at the same time. Obviously, it's not very smart. But if we look at the fucking broad picture, if we look at the fact that they had 86% more trade and they had fucking 48% more imports from natural gas in 2021, and how much they had been dependent on Russian oil and compared to what they are now, I think we need to give them some fucking credit, right? I don't think you can totally just shut yourself in the cold without heat, without hot water. I mean, there's certain things and certain reasons that people have to live. Certain things that people need to use to live. Especially in Europe in the colder air, like come on, like we have to be real with this fucking shit too. And although it's a good point, but it should also be brought up if you were a real president of the United States would say, hey, I would applaud the EU for dramatically decreasing, the imports of goods 86% from here and here. But let's try to let's see what we can do to get that plan in motion. Maybe before 2027, we can be totally independent from Russia in all of these things. Like that's what I would think a president would do instead of going in there and making it look like they have absolutely no plan in place whatsoever to decouple themselves from Russia, which is not the case.
As you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves.
2 weeks ago, he found out. Two weeks ago, I found out. Oh, so yeah, apparently you've been very well informed. You're really kept up to date and up to speed on all of these fucking facts, aren't you? 2 weeks ago, you found this out? What a joke.
Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal.
Who the hell ever heard of that? I don't know. Did you ever hear of the Land Lease Act? Did you ever hear of the United States military sending, trucks and weapons to, places like the Soviet Union, and then inevitably, having a Cold War against those same weapons? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I know it's almost like it's happened before in the past where you inevitably end up funding both sides of a conflict, whether knowingly or unknowingly, right? Jesus Christ, what a putz.
The war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop.
This kind of pisses me off too. And why the fuck are there any tariffs? I mean, why the fuck are there any sanctions still left to be had? Like, why is there any restrictions right now that the United States still has not implemented against Russia? Why is there anything still on the table that we are like, should we do that? Should we enact that tariff? Should we enact this fucking sanction? Yes, you fucking should, and you should have long time ago. Like, why? It would piss me off so fucking much to know that, like, there is a multitude of other options that we have as far as sanctions or tariffs or whatever the fuck we can do that Joe Biden or Donald Trump didn't implement. What the fuck are we waiting for? Hit them all. Hit them with everything we got. Sanction the whole fucking thing. Shut it down. Like, what are we doing? Why are we? I don't like this. Like, if we're going to fucking fight, let's fight to win, right? Like, if we're going to play, let's play to fucking win. Let's not play to play. Let's not play to say that we're playing and have a good time and make it look like we're defending our fucking allies. Let's play this fucking game to win. Right? If we're here, if we're going to fucking be sacrificing and spending and sending money, let's play to fucking win this game as fast as possible so we spend as least as possible. Right? So we sacrifice as fucking least amount of people as humanly possible. Enough of this fucking tic-tac-toe bullshit and fucking maybe we should do these sanctions and no, there's still maybe that's the next step. We'll wait till they cross this imaginary fucking red line and then we'll implement those. No, fucking slap it on, motherfucker. Slap them sanctions on. Whatever tariffs can still be implemented, implement those fucking shits.
The bloodshed, I believe, very quickly, but for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures. I mean, you're much closer to this. We have an ocean in between. You're right there. And Europe has to step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia.
Right. And again, maybe you should be informed about, he probably has no fucking idea about the EU's plan to, again, be totally independent from Russia by 2027, right? He probably doesn't even have a fucking clue about it. Wouldn't even know what you were talking about if you told him.
It's embarrassing to them. And it was very embarrassing to them when I found out about it. I can tell you that.
A whole 2 weeks ago. A whole 2 fucking weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, is when he found this out.
They have to immediately cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time. So I'm ready to discuss this. We're going to discuss it today with the European nations, all gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak about it. That's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth. As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us in ending the development of biological weapons.
I thought I was playing this. I'm sitting here playing the fucking FOD noise, and I'm the only one sitting on screen like an asshole. What the fuck? What a dope. My apologies. Oh, man, I thought I was hitting it right, too. What an idiot. Oh, Christ.
Gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak about it, but that's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth. As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us in ending the development of biological weapons once and for all. And biological is terrible, and nuclear is even beyond, and we include nuclear in that. We want to have a cessation of the development of nuclear weapons. We know, and I know.
That's all I kind of wanted to touch on that. We don't have to go through too much of that. I promise. I want to expose you to too much of that again. I don't think there was anything else worth getting to. Let me see here.
So the best example is the number one political issue of our budgeted $300 and UN is supposed to stop invasion belongs to the American people.
No, he goes on to complain about the fucking escalator in the teleprompter, I think, or some bullshit. So nothing else we need to get on from there. No, we talked about that one. We did that one. What's this one right here? All right, so yeah, so this is kind of where we get into this is where we get into this territory now. All right, so we're switching it up. This is, again, just why? Just give me something that makes sense once in your fucking life, Kash. Just once. Give me something that I can be like, you know what? That actually makes sense. We can go with that. We can go with that. But listen to this now. This is put out by Kash Patel. Let me see. This was 10:02 a.m., September 21st, 2025. So a couple days ago. But again, I don't give a shit about Kash Patel, nor do I care about what the guy says because it's a bunch of bullshit. But listen to this. As the director of the FBI, I am committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence that has emerged, but our efforts extend beyond our initial findings. We are examining every facet of this assassination. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken. So, you're not sure where the shot was taken from now? Is that what I'm getting? Because if you had the guy on camera, if you had the ballistic evidence to prove with the body, with where the guy was, again, if you had all of that to prove where he was, why are we still questioning where the shot came from? Because in my opinion, like you guys have known, and like I've said since the jump here, it's been fucking fishy from what I've seen and from what I've been hearing. It hasn't lined up yet, right? Has not lined up yet. And there's a multitude, again, of theories and videos and supposed evidence going around to suggest this, that, and the other. But that is only in the vacuum that is left behind with the lack of credible and fucking evidence that can be actually, like, you know, corroborated and shit. So not only is he questioning now where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices. So there might be other people involved now. Maybe the old guy was a part of it now. The text message confession and related conversations that they themselves released. So now those are in question again. Discord chats, the angle of the shot and bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed, and potential signals near Charlie. Remember those videos going around? People were like, hey, what are the guys doing behind? Looks like they're doing baseball hand signal. They're looking into that now again. Visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10th, 2025. Some details are known today, while others are still being pursued to ensure every possibility is considered. Our primary focus is to complete this investigation and deliver justice. To protect integrity of this investigation and subsequent prosecution, we cannot release every piece of information we have to the public right now. We will ensure every question is addressed at the appropriate moment. Regarding specific details and such as questions about the plane that allegedly turned off its transponder, this was about because they didn't immediately shut down the airport in the area, and there was a few planes that allegedly took off. One of them allegedly turning off its transponder. But this says, after departing from the airport near the assassination site, we can share updates when answers are confirmed. After interviews with the pilot in consultation with the FAA, we determined the transponder was not turned off. Incomplete flight data in rural areas caused the apparent gap. The entire FBI mourns the loss of Charlie Kirk. We will not rest until justice is served, and our investigation into this assassination will continue until every question is answered. Now, what the fuck? Again, like, it just seems like the question you got to wake up with on the tip of your tongue in this fucking country every single day is, what the fuck? Right? Like, that should be your fucking alarm. Like, where's that, like, the Staples button? Like, that, what was it? That was easy, right? You just wake up every morning and be like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on today? But they seemingly, if they knew anything, if I thought they knew anything, it is where the shot was taken from. Like, if they thought they knew anything, it is where this kid shot this fucking weapon from. But apparently even that is in question now. Apparently they don't have that. Even though supposedly the camera that we see him jumping off the roof captured him lying down in prone position and can see the entire roof and should have picked up him taking that shot. But the film gets cut. We only see him running across. We only see him jumping down. It's hard. I want something that makes sense. And then this is the video by Range Day Bro. Again, not familiar with them. This has, again, probably well over 5.3 million views. And this is purporting to have new video evidence to suggest that everything we know so far and everything that we've been told by the FBI is wrong and false and can be proved. So let me just see if I can throw this up there, and we'll see if we can learn anything from here or if we can kind of call out any bullshit. Because, again, with Kash Patel's statement there, and they seemingly expanding this investigation, seemingly now looking into other accomplices, other positions where the shooter may have been. Like, are they going around Twitter and kind of getting washed up in the conspiracy theories going along Twitter, and now they're actively? I don't understand what's going on. I really don't. But let's see what this says, and let's see if we can either confirm or deny anything said.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now have acquired proof that the FBI's official story is false, whether knowingly or unknowingly. We're going to have an entire monologue and talk about a lot of these things after I show you this. But if you take nothing else away from this video, you need to see this.
And in that video, you can see the same, what appears to be the bullet coming down.
And again, this is one of the multitude of videos that have been floating around social media, Twitter and otherwise, where apparently in this green circle that is on, you will see a small glint or a small flash at the exact moment, or what would correlate with the moment that Charlie gets shot, or you hear the apparent weapon go off. Again, this gets very close, but to the best of my knowledge, this doesn't get anywhere near like the totality of the graphic scene. This kind of, like I said, kind of works around the edges as much as possible to try to give you the best of information. So again, don't get scared like we're going to actually play the whole thing on here. I promise I'm not. I would change it if it comes to it.
And it does line up with the actual gunshot itself. So we're not counting gang violence. Great.
See that? So let me see if I can play that back, because it is kind of hard to see, right?
It does line up with the actual gunshot.
So you're going to look somewhere in, see where my mouse is, somewhere in this general vicinity right here, I believe. So take a look there, right?
So we're not counting gang violence. Great.
Goes right here. You can see just like a little, glint, and it does kind of, it does line up with the sound of the shot. A lot of people now there was the Valhalla guy that I played the video, I believe, this morning. And I played him, I think, a video from him the other day, has another video where he's kind of, again, questioning what kind of weapon was actually used, whether or not that weapon that we are told was used was actually used. Again, we were talking about what it would do to elk, what it would do to moose, and how apparently it was stopped somehow miraculously with a magic bullet inside of Charlie, whatever, you know what I mean? So he's kind of calling that out as well. Basically saying that it's seemingly like a lesser caliber was used, because a 30-06 with the amount of fucking gunpowder in its cartridge would make such a boom in that area that it was in. And if you look at the video, when the gunshot goes off, not one person that you're looking at turns around like where the shot was fired from, right? Which is what you would think would happen. You know, if you got a big boom or snap or fucking what sounds like a gunshot coming from any direction, your immediate reaction would be to kind of look in that direction, right? Or at least flinch. But if you look at the video, not many people, if any, in that flinch immediately. So it kind of is leading people to suggest, especially with the the lack of damage, let's just say, in this case, that it may have been a smaller caliber weapon. And if that's the case, where did that shot come from? Because it didn't come from the 30-06 that the kid supposedly had. That's for damn sure. And again, this is all speculation. This is all, people trying to, again, come up and piece together theories themselves. I'm not saying any of it is true or untrue. I'm just saying in the absence of actual information that makes sense and people can piece together and actually fucking put their head on the pillow at the end of the night and say, yes, we can live with that one. Like that. Okay, let's go with that one. That one makes sense at least. Then people are left to do this like inquisitive bullshit. And then people like me on the internet who don't know fucking, who don't know what's right, what's wrong, end up trying to pick it apart and trying to be like, well, what makes sense and what doesn't here.
So this video was created.
And apparently there are some questions being raised by this video, from this video. Apparently this angle, for example, does not exactly line up with where the shot would have impacted Charlie. Let's see here. He does give, like I said, he gets close. He goes around the edges really close here, but I promise it doesn't get.
A friend of mine who is a Marine, you'll see him here at the end. This is the angle he is showing the shot coming from.
Right, so this is now, this to me is kind of what I was thinking in my head that would have made the most sense, judging by what I saw from the video, right? Judging from what I saw from that close-up video, I was like, oh shit, that was the exit wound, and the shirt coming up in the back, the shirt coming up in the front. My first thought, without being told or seeing where the fucking shooter was, oh, the shot came from the left, come through his neck, and we saw where it came out on this side. Gruesome, terrible, awful. Don't want to watch it again ever. It's terrible. But again, that's just when you see it, you're like, oh, that's an exit wound, because the exit wound is typically the bigger of the wounds because the bullet's tumbling. It's not in the, the straight trajectory that it is when it's going in, and it's tumbling, it's hit stuff, and it's broken up into pieces, which is why typically the exit wound is the more gruesome, the more, easily spotted of the two wounds, right? So he goes on here, and again, like I said, he goes around the edges, but bear with me.
Where Charlie was sitting and the angle of the shot, which will correspond with this video here, which unfortunately we will blur.
And again, what he's trying, or what he's suggesting here, and I think this has already kind of been debunked to a certain extent, is he's kind of going to claim that you can see some sort of blood spatter come out from this side of the neck. I'm not going to play it because apparently it's already been debunked, where if you look at a different angle, you can see it was Charlie's earpiece. He's got one of those clear or, skin colored earpieces that the Secret Service sometimes wear. We can kind of only see like the little swirly piece going into the back of the shirt and kind of disappears into the ear type thing. So that is, you can kind of clearly see that from a different angle of this same thing. So that part has kind of been debunked. But what I am kind of looking at is this part. Now, I'll only play the still. I won't is right here. Now, as you can see, he's got the left side of the screen here circled. Now, even if what he's suggesting was a splatter of blood, wasn't a splatter of blood, like it's kind of been seemingly proven by other videos that have taken a look at this. The weird thing is the what you can see right here, right, is what is seemingly either an exit or an entry, but the timing of it, right? The timing of it and when you can see it is like, I don't know if I can play it slow enough or it's going to go frame by frame, but he says here, second splash or stream of blood, not shot. There was only one shot. But like I said, if you look from a different angle, you can see that it was his kind of earpiece flying off when his head was jerked back. But my point here is, and it's tough, I can't kind of play it at a slow speed enough, but basically that the reaction of Charlie, right? And then the spot that shows up, and it's hard to tell right there if that comes secondary or if that's the first impact. So I think that's kind of, and then they go on to kind of suggest about the shirt, like as of right here.
Most of them require
See the shirt go up
to 14 to 16 inches, even sometimes, of tissue to expand properly. Also, Charlie tensing up correlates and proves that he was hit 12 to 14 to 16 inches, even some of his neck, which again corresponds with an exit wound, the extreme loss of blood. No matter what the caliber is, that distance, that amount.
He says basically that you can see either, and there's videos supposedly circling the projectile coming from that direction as well. And again, whether or not verified or corroborated, who the hell knows? But again, they're out there of people trying to, again, seemingly say that you can see the bullet if you stop it in a certain frame and it's coming from this direction. But it's hard to tell with the impact, how quickly it happens, which kind of comes first. But as you notice, and as people have been talked about, like his shirt going up in the front as well, like on this side would kind of suggest something coming from that way. But there's also an angle here that shows the back of his shirt go up as well, which is kind of strange. I think that's in the, let me see here. Because I believe this guy talks about it as well. Let's see here. My apologies. Give me a second. Maybe this one.
Right. But it's very possible that he could have got shot in the front.
Let's see.
And if we're talking about no exit wound, okay, well, if he did get shot from the front, all right, guys, so here's this.
Oh, yeah, this is another one. So this is another theory that the kid had in that video. And I don't, this is a kind of stupid theory, I think, as well, that's kind of been debunked already. Where the tree that people have been talking about, like there's a guy in that tree or a guy dressed as a tree. He's kind of trying to suggest that that's what you're looking at here is kind of a guy with a rifle. But what happens is this gentleman that is currently in the bottom right hand of the screen looks at a different angle, this angle right here, and you can clearly see that it's some sort of, bench or, let me see if I can get my mouse in there so you can see it here. Right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this area right here is kind of what everybody was picturing, and it's clearly still there. I doubt the guy that shot him, if he was there, is still fucking standing there behind the plant. So I think that we can kind of rule that out as being plausible as well. But let's see here, there, because he does talk about the shirt going up. Let's see here.
Through the front of his throat. All of the evidence points to Charlie being shot from his back right. Now, including this little blood splatter that we can see here against the white backdrop, the extreme hemorrhaging from the front of his neck, which again corresponds with an exit wound.
All right, so maybe
creatine gummies, guys.
I don't want your gummies either.
Well,
yeah, this is what I'm talking about. See the back of his shirt? See how the back of his shirt is puffed up as well, right there? So that kind of throws a wrench in the works too, because it's like if there's no exit wound, apparently, because there was a magic bullet in Charlie's magic steel spine from Superman's spine, stopped this fucking 30-06 rifle that a moose skull and an elk skull, if they were stood fucking head to head, couldn't stop. But apparently we're led to believe that Charlie's unbelievable spinal cord was redeflected this 30-06 downwards somehow. But that doesn't, why? So then why the fuck would his shirt be puffed out in the back if there's no blood, there's no exit wound? I mean, the fucking bullet didn't just like ricochet off the back of his neck hard enough to blow his shirt back. I can tell you that much. I mean, so what is nothing is adding up in this whole thing. It's like, as soon as you're like, okay, somebody's actually fucking saying something that I think, or, and it's like, there's more evidence to suggest, well, maybe that's not the case either. It's like, okay, so what did happen? Hold on. Sorry. Let me see if I think it's this one.
That clip we showed. The problem with this theory is that the front of Charlie Kirk's shirt also blows way
right.
up.
So he's kind of, it's kind of debunking both sides at the same time, because if you're trying to say that the back of the shirt is proof that he got shot from the front, okay, well, the front of his shirt went up right here, as you can see in this, right? So it's like, well, wouldn't that be proof to suggest he was shot from behind? So how do you explain the shirt going up in front and the shirt going up in back? Like where does that, where does that ballistically, where does that bring us ballistically in this whole fucking mess? That is an absolute mess,
Okay, we've seen both the front and the back do the same thing. The other problem I'm having with this is from behind, you can very clearly see there's no exit wound coming out the right back of his neck where this potentially is pulling that shirt up from. So if there's no exit wound and the bullet did not pass through, what exactly, the bullet's not causing that shirt to get pulled up and backwards. It's potentially just still shockwave of Charlie being hit by something. And again, front of the shirt does it, back of the shirt does it. I'm not willing to say that's conclusive evidence of Charlie Kirk being shot from the front at all, based off of just the reaction. And had it just been the back of the shirt raise and we saw an exit wound, got it. The fact that the front of the shirt also raises and there's no exit wound.
But now he goes on to talk about, if I'm not mistaken on this, the size of the, let me see here.
Continue to look at, and what they don't.
Right here. Ready?
So they're all absolutely 100%.
Listen.
100%. And it would even be unlikely blood would splatter out the back of his neck muscle here anyway, guys. Like there's not a lot of blood.
He's still talking about the earpiece. Right now he's going to talk about the reaction of the crowd.
Okay.
Though.
Something else that's really interesting from this angle and what you can see, and I've kind of seen this in all the different angles of stuff, is now we're going to talk about the acoustics, the sound a 30-06 makes, and the reaction of the crowd. So I want to show you guys this. All right, keep your eyes on the crowd. Okay. Notice what they continue to look at and what they don't do. So they're all looking at Charlie's been hit. The gunshot has gone off already. Look at everybody's faces.
You don't see anybody turn around.
Everybody's
back,
still watching Charlie.
Right? This guy
not
seems to be the only guy that like even bothers to move, but he looks at his friend.
Not one person.
Like this guy right here with his mouth gaped open, seemingly almost turned around, but he was just looking at his friend. Nobody else kind of flinches. Nobody looks backwards, right? Like it's just strange. It's just fucking strange. It's like the Butler shit all over again, where it's like, why you guys? I mean, and these people, but they do eventually hit the deck, but it kind of takes a fucking second. I think it's more the sight of Charlie bleeding out on the stage that makes them realize what the fuck's going on more than the actual sound of the shot itself, which is kind of weird.
Look at everybody's faces. Everybody's still watching Charlie.
One person to watch is this girl in the front. See, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this girl in the very front looks like she's on her phone. She's got her head down, right? She kind of calmly raises her head up as the shot is taken, right? That's just, it doesn't seem like a normal reaction to a 30-06, an unsuppressed 30-06 in a bowl area, right? In a fucking, a bowl where it would amplify the sound, off of buildings would amplify the sound. Right? It doesn't add up to me. Now watch the girl in the middle here. She just kind of like calmly, like she doesn't, it's not nothing crazy happening.
So
right?
All looking at Charlie's been hit. The gunshot has gone off already.
Right here.
Look at everybody's faces.
Like she was just kind of like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, do you hear something? And then everybody's like, what was it? And then they look at Charlie, they're like, oh shit, and then they get down, which is the fucking normal reaction. But it just doesn't add up to, again, a 30-06 hunting rifle that you take down a fucking moose with, you take down an elk with, unsuppressed, that's been unassembled, it's been reassembled, it hasn't been sighted, it hasn't been adjusted. He somehow then leaves the screwdriver there, fucking has a $2,000 scope on a fucking Mauser, and then uses that unfucking sighted, unfucking tested weapon since it's been put back together to make this shot. Leaves his screwdriver on the roof, apparently jumps down with no gun, then has a gun, and disassembles the weapon, or puts the weapon back together to leave it in the bush without the screwdriver. It's just like, how many fucking things in this don't add up?
He's still watching Charlie. Not a single person has looked behind them. Not
this
one.
Guy's the only one I've seen so far, and it doesn't even look like he's raising his head up. It looks like he's, again, looking to one of his friends like, did you just see that shit type of thing? You know what I mean?
One person looks behind them when that gunshot goes off. This is important. See this guy in front? Doesn't even look at anything.
Not
so
a
he hasn't even heard
reaction.
Anything. Also, as you see here,
just odd. Just fucking odd. It really is. It really is.
With this guy that's running security for Charlie, I want you to look at his ear. What do we see coming up the back of his neck here?
Right. So this is again trying to further his point that before we weren't looking at the blood spatter from the previous video we were watching, and it was the earpiece that you can see here on this guy. He's just kind of pointing this out as an example of Charlie's earpiece, an earpiece that Charlie would have had, and that's kind of what you would see. That's what you saw flying away, as opposed to the blood splatter that the previous video was saying.
You see that clear earpiece that becomes invisible, and you can't see this earpiece at all in his ear. You wouldn't be able to see it from Charlie too. So that's the equipment that Charlie's team's wearing. Okay. Just more further evidence of that. But to talk about why no, and I've looked at a bunch of different angles. We're talking about a 30-06 round, guys. I've got one sitting right here, and I can tell you, I mean, look how big the cartridge is on this compared to a 5.56 round. Right. And again, that's what we were trying to talk about. Like, we're not even specifically talking about the round itself, which is obviously clearly bigger, right? Clearly bigger, but it's not even the car. Like, we're talking about the amount of explosive powder, the amount of gunpowder, the amount of charge that is propelling that fucking round through the air, and the sound that makes coming out of an unsuppressed 30-06, right? Like, even this guy, these guys are clearly either ex-military or extremely well-versed around weapons and weaponry, regardless of whatever their politics are. We're not even really talking about politics at this point. So if you know who these people are and you disagree with their whatever, if they even dive into politics, that's not what I'm fucking trying to point out here. We're just trying to get answers from people that may know shit about shit, when in the absence of actual information from the law enforcement agencies conducting this investigation. Right. They're seemingly opening up their investigation wider now, when they are supposed to have this fucking evidence, more of the evidence than when it was previously have started. Like, what are we talking about? So let me see what he says here about what's his theory here about, again, the sound that would make and the reaction that he thinks people would have, again, in a bowl environment, buildings surrounded. Like, we're not talking about a wide open area where the sound is going to disperse. Like, we're talking about an area with a ton of fucking people. It's going to have places to bounce off of. The sound, I mean, you know what I mean? Massive. And with that, added gunpowder makes it extremely loud. And I want you guys to realize this. If the shooter is 100 yards or 150 yards away, which is not very far away, in this amphitheater, and a 30-06 unsuppressed, which according to the FBI pictures, it's an unsuppressed 30-06, were to have gone off, I can promise you, everyone in that amphitheater would have jumped, because it would have sounded like a bomb going off, and they would have all looked, because this is what human beings do when a giant boom goes off in a direction. They've all looked. So
what does that suggest? That suggests either that was not the rifle used, or there's a second shooter using a different caliber weapon. If so, where and who? And it would also suggest that there is foul play being had when the FBI is said to have found this weapon and confirmed it to be the weapon that was used. So, again, more questions and answers being raised, and it seems to be the theme of this entire investigation.
Crowd would have looked at up to that roof. Basically, no one other than one guy who, with the long-haired hippie dude that we saw turn around cheering, is the only person I've seen turn around and look in that direction. That tells me, and from what the crowd has said, it sounded like a 22 or a suppressed 5.56 or something. Everyone in the crowd,
a smaller caliber round with less amounts of gunpowder, making a small, a less of a sound, right? Almost more of a snap than anything. I mean, seemingly plausible. Again, judging by the reaction, judging by, again, the lack of damage supposedly caused, the lack of an exit wound supposedly evident. Yeah.
I've seen talk about this. That's what they've thought. It's very clearly that was not a 30-06 going off on that roof, just based off of the crowd reaction. All right, so where does that leave us currently? Well, problem now we're kind of back to square one, because there's no real definitive proof now that he did.
So everything from here on is just kind of pure speculation, if we're back to square one at this point. But again, just more evidence and more fucking reasons to, again, not believe what Kash Patel is telling you, and to, again, not believe the original narrative being put out. Not to be the yes man that is going to say, oh, yeah, that makes sense, when it absolutely does not make sense. All right, let's see what we can jump to. Yeah. Oh, hold on one sec. Yep, I got you. We got some incoming. What's this one? Let's see here. Share this tab instead. Put this on the screen. This is Caitlin Collins and Kristi Noem. What's she saying now? What's Kristi Noem saying now? Let's take a look. Let's take a look and a listen. Let's take a gander. Let's take a little gander. I'm shooting my dogs.
And I wish that our media and I wish reporters like you, Caitlin, would talk about the victims every day.
Oh, yeah. This is already, by the way, this is already being spread as a leftist, another leftist shooting. Again, I'm not sure exactly what information has been come out has come out since, but or if they're still just going on the fact that anti-ICE was written on the bullets. Like, tell me that doesn't look like the fucking the Chat GPT version of what should I write on the bullets to suggest that I don't like ICE. Right? It's almost like Kash Patel was like, yeah, hey buddy, do me a favor. Will you write something anti-ICE on those bullets so it makes it look like the guy's a leftist? And the agent was like, what do you want me to write? I don't know. Just put something anti-ICE on there. Anything anti-ICE will be good. And the agent was like, all right, gotcha. Cool. Anti-ICE. It's like, who the fuck would say that? Who puts that on a bullet? Wouldn't you just be like, fuck ICE or, abolish ICE or, something? I don't know. Like anti-ICE is just a little fucking weird. To suggest it was written on one bullet, but apparently that's what they're going with, and people like Tim Pool and people on Rumble are already running with this as another leftist, politically motivated fucking hit job, whatever. All right, let's see what else you got to say here.
That we interact with, that we send you the stories on, that you refuse to tell, about the poor little girl and baby that was strangled yesterday by an illegal criminal and died. That baby died overnight. That was the first news I got this morning when I got up at 4 a.m. Then the next news that I got was that the media had
oh, fuck off. Yep. Can't stand to fucking listen to her voice. All right, let's see what else we can dive into here. Oh, we got these Russian state media videos to get to. Oh, Jesus. All right, let's dive into this one because this is kind of funny, and I should have played this after we were talking about Ukraine, but I don't want to continue too deep onto one subject and get you guys bored. But this is Russian state media, and this guy, I don't know if he's got a death wish. I don't know if he's like best friends with Putin, or if he dates Putin's fucking sister or aunt, or if he's got it in somehow and he knows he's not going to fall out or fly out of a fucking 10-story window anytime soon. But this guy was kind of telling it like it is. He was kind of on Russian state media telling it like it is. The presenters trying to get him to say that the Ukrainian military and the Ukrainian economy are in the shits. And that, Russia's doing everything correctly, and the guy's just not having it. Credit where credit is due. I got to give it to him. He's fucking putting his life on the line here. But let's just take a quick look at some of this, and let's tear into this one.
Так, Андрей Владимирович, я, видимо, что-то не понимаю, но, как мне кажется, европейские союзники Украины, когда они
But it seems to me that when Ukraine's European allies
зарабатывают и прорабатывают потом в деталях свою
are working out the details of their strategy and sanctions,
эту санкционную стратегию, но они действительно
that they should consider the real state of affairs
должны учитывать реальное положение дел и с украинской экономикой,
with the Ukrainian economy,
и с количеством
with the number of their casualties.
потерь. Мне кажется, этого
I don't think this is happening. Why?
не происходит. Почему?
Происходит. Почему?
The guy just says it is happening. Right off the bat, he's like, it is happening. You fucking idiot. What are you talking about? What do you think they're doing? You fucking moron. Why do you think they're kicking our ass after 3 years, bro? Like, of course they're thinking about this shit. He's fucking idiot. Look, it is happening. Right? And he keeps going. Listen.
Начнем с того, что сегодня у нас 1030.
Let's start by saying that today is the 1,303rd day of the war. He calls it a war, and then has to correct himself and call it a special military operation.
Третий день войны, то есть специальная военная операция.
Right? Like that's the fucking most Russian sarcasm you're ever gonna get. He calls it a war, and he says, I mean, special military operation, right? So this guy is clearly defiant in this, and I don't know where he came from or why he's so pissed off, but maybe it's because he's a former deputy foreign minister. Let's check. But he keeps going.
Остается всего совсем немного, 115 дней до того,
So
как...
basically, he's saying they're 115 days away from this war exceeding the length of the Great Patriotic War. Like he's bringing this war and relating it to the Great Patriotic War, which is fucking religion in Russia, right? So he's trying to compare that and the losses. Like he's fucking bringing up some sacred shit, and you can tell that the presenter ain't having it.
Мы переплюнем продолжительность Великой Отечественной войны.
Right? So he cuts him off there. The presenter cuts him off there. So he hears him comparing it to the Great Patriotic War. Again, not supposed to be called the war. It's a special military operation, right? So he cuts him off there and says, can you answer my question? So he doesn't want him to talk about that anymore. Listen.
Мне на вопрос ответить.
А я отвечу,
Не,
да.
вы не отвечаете. Вы занимаетесь своей традиционной демагогией, хотя прекрасно...
You're engaging in your traditional demagoguery, right? He tries to go off on
Я привожу
что мы ведем специальную военную
even though you know very well that we are.
операцию методами не военными.
Waging our special military operation by non-military means.
Нет, мы
В
ведем
принципе, можно
All of this could have been solved in 2 hours.
было это решить все за 2 часа.
Невозможно было решить.
Ну, возможно.
И это вот
Возможно.
вы относитесь к тем людям, которые в феврале...
And this guy, now he goes on and claims that the presenter was one of the people yelling and screaming at the beginning of the war in February 2022 that the Ukrainian military was just going to run away and disperse. And as soon as the Russian military stepped foot in the scene, it was going to be over for the Ukrainians and there'd be no way for them to fight back. So he's fucking calling them out in his own show. I love it.
В начале февраля 2022 года тоже кричали о том, что украинская армия разбежится при первом...
Андрей Владимирович, вот если бы вы мне предъявили сейчас доказательства того, как я кричал, что украинская армия разбежится, я был бы вам очень благодарен. Иначе вы просто пустобреком выглядите. Извините, ради бога.
Вот так. Значит,
я никогда не говорил таких слов. Я еще раз вам обращаю ваше внимание. Пожалуйста.
Now the other presenter gets in and says, "Oh, let's try to not make it personal, right? Let's try to not make it personal."
Андрей Владимирович.
Ну а что вы Андрей Владимирович? Я не люблю, чтобы Андрей Владимирович мне хамил.
И, к сожалению,
подождите, мощь военная.
And then listen to the question he poses. Listen to the question he poses. He says, "Hold on, is their military might still strong?" And this is the guy that's, being defiant, questioning the Russian presenter to say, hey, is Ukraine's military might not still strong? Are they not still fucking putting up a hell of a fight? Are they not still taking out thousands and thousands of our fucking soldiers every single week?
Все так же крепка.
Then the presenter says, where are their military successes? Again, we're 3 years on into an operation that was supposed to take 72 hours. For the paper tiger to waltz its way into Kyiv and install its fucking puppet regime and then take down the rest of the country from there. It was only supposed to take 3 days, according to, many countries' intelligence agencies, by the way. But again, 3 years on, look at the territory that they've gained. Look at the amount of people they've lost. I'd say that's fucking a military success in its own right by the Ukrainian military. With what they've been given, with what they're fighting with what they were supposedly fighting against. Like, come on. How can you not give the fucking guys credit?
Тогда военные успехи Украины.
Вот это как раз огромная оценка, что мы недооцениваем армию Украины.
He says it's a major problem that we're underestimating Ukraine's army. He said it like I can't recall the last time I heard somebody on Russian state media talk this fucking frank, be this blunt on one of these shows, especially to the presenter, right? It's quite powerful. Like he's telling you, fucking, they're powerful. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't know. I've not heard anybody on Russian state media come out and say that the Ukrainian military is quite powerful still this deep into the war, right? To talk about, whether or not they're, of course, they're not weak. Fucking love it. They also have about 700,000 men in their reserves, talking about the Ukrainian military.
Резервов порядка 700 тысяч человек, это раз. Во-вторых, извините, конечно, вот если брать все эти цифры, оказывается, украинской армии нет.
So he's saying if we go by our official numbers, if we go by the numbers that we're given by the fucking Kremlin, by our own military, then that would mean that the Ukrainian army no longer exists. If they actually took out the amount of equipment they say they have, if they've actually killed and fucking taken off the battlefield as many soldiers as they actually say that they have, then the Ukrainian military should no longer exist. He's basically calling out the fucking government right here as putting out hugely infactual numbers.
И тем не менее, тоже Покровск мы уже почти год вообще...
But nonetheless, we've been trying to take Покровск for a fucking year. I love it. So not only have we supposedly wiped out the Ukrainian military statistically and numerically, but supposedly we've done that, and it's still taken us a year to get into Покровск.
Пытаемся взять, хотя, в общем, городишко-то маленький.
Oh, it's a small town. This guy is on it right now, bro.
Опять же, возвращаемся к...
This guy's like Andrei Vladimirovich. Like, you better be tying yourself to that fucking radiator, my friend. You better have a strong fucking rope and a long rope. You need some fucking, oh my God. You need some Flex Seal to seal those windows shut, Andrei Vladimirovich? Good Lord.
И Запад как раз видит, что на самом деле никакого реального продвижения, радикального продвижения.
Вы можете ответить?
So he's talking about the West can see there is no radical advancement by Russia to speak of, right? So there's no way that they're coming at this like they're the fucking the badasses, the strong one, the overpowering one, and they should have the overwhelming power in the negotiations, right? And this guy's in there like, well, the West ain't fucking buying it. Like, you know, it's taken us a year to take Покровск. Meanwhile, our government's given us numbers to suggest that the fucking entirety of the military we're fighting is wiped out, yet we're still losing 1,000, 1,500 men a night. So try to make that make sense.
Вот опять же, с этой точки зрения, на вот эту вот постоянную мантру Андрея Владимировича, что мы сейчас уже вот скоро переплюнем Великую Отечественную войну, никаких успехов у нас нет. Мои аргументы, когда я говорю, что мы не ведем ее операцию военными методами,
that we are not waging an operation by military means. What the fuck is that? Like, what reality are you living in where you can possibly think that right now Russia is not waging a war by military means? Like, how delusional do you have to be in your own state of mind to think that right now Russia is not using military means to wage a war against Ukraine? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Можно один нюанс? Может, интересно, бомбежка.
Did you hear the guy? He said, that's interesting. Is bombing not a military act? Like, that we are not waging war by military. And then he says, how interesting. Is bombing not a military action? Oh, that's fucking great.
Один нюанс. Может, интересно, бомбежка это не военная?
Давайте. Это на вопрос.
Андрей Ильич, вы вообще сами-то в армии служили?
Нет, не служил.
Спасибо. Мне неохота быть одному обосранному, понимаете? Вот я чувствую. Давайте я как-то разделю эту честь с вами и с Андреем.
I don't think we need to see any more of that. That was funny though. And it even goes on here because on a different night, let me see if I can put this on the screen as well. On the same night, and you can tell they're back and forth. This is Russian state TV saying, let's give Trump a Nobel Peace Prize from us. Our Trumpushka. They call him the Trumpushka. Look at him. They're calling him the Trumpushka. Oh, shit. That's not good, bro. That's not good. All right, let's see what they got to say here.
В первую очередь он, так сказать, спас весь мир. Вот, Нобелевскую премию все не дают.
А давайте от нас дадим ему Нобелевскую.
Let's give him a Nobel Peace Prize from us.
Отчеканим, и он такой...
We can mint a cast iron medal. They want to give Trump a Russian Nobel Peace Prize.
Медаль.
По-моему, вполне может.
Да, может.
Но то, что мы видим в отношениях между Азербайджаном и Албанией, то, что сделал Трамп, но это тоже может...
Азербайджаном.
Азербайджан.
Вот.
И Албания. Он же остановил этот конфликт? Остановил.
заявки, которые
They're making fun of him from not having solved this military conflict like he said he was gonna.
он делал,
Это встреча с Путиным.
эти
Это самое
политические
крупное, это
заявки
очевидно.
не удались.
Еще как удались.
Что касается
Сейчас,
того,
подожди,
что...
Андрей Анатольевич, минуточку. Так,
Секундочку. То, что он торгаш, я согласен.
Нет, минуточку.
He's a huckster. They call Trump a huckster. What does a huckster mean in Russian slang?
Минуточку. Трампушку нашего обижают.
Our Trump pushka. Holy shit, our Trump pushka is being mistreated. Oh, man. Oh, that can't sit well with Trump at all. There's no way that can sit well with Trump. Our Trump pushka is being mistreated.
Трампа на кандидатскую степень, если говорить насчет того,
Just literally laughing in his face right now.
что вот он сделал во внешней политике, я говорю, что у меня не те заявки,
He didn't succeed with the claims that he made.
которые он предъявил, они у него не получились. А что касается того, что он торгаш,
As far as him being a huckster, I won't deny that. Oh, shit. I didn't think I'd be laughing at fucking Russian state media tonight. That's a W. That's a W. It's an unexpected dub.
это я не буду отрицать. Безусловно.
That's what I was thinking. You know, because a babushka is, you know, grandmother or, you know, elder Russian woman, you know. And the word for grandfather or elder Russian man is different. It's not a babushka, it's a something else. I don't know. But yes, that's what I was thinking too. That's why I was laughing. I'm pretty sure that's a female spin. Pushka in Russian is slang for gun. I don't know. I like thinking of it as an old grandmother myself. Like, makes it funnier. But you could be right. I'm not sure.
Вы напрасно Трампа нашего не любите.
You're wrong not to love our Trump.
Я не то, что не люблю, я его боюсь.
О, это хорошо.
Я его боюсь, реально боюсь, потому что это человек, который может привести к чему угодно.
По ночам к вам являлся Трамп и говорил,
нет,
что за вопросы вы задаете, как австралийский журналист? Ну как он австралийец?
Now they're praising him for attacking the media here like he did to the Australian journalists and like he's done to any number of fucking journalists when they ask a question he doesn't like, typically about the Epstein files. But let's see, there's a couple more things that Mel sent me here from Aaron Rupar. See if I can get this on here. Oh, more from this interview. Let's see what else we got. What she have to say in this one? I'm sure it's fucking thrilling.
Tell us this evening about the person who was killed and those who were injured.
Well, Caitlin, I don't think I have any new information for you.
This heinous attack on ICE in which no ICE agent was actually attacked, and the only people that were attacked were the detainees. But, you know, this heinous attack on the officers, I guess, is what they want to portray it as.
FBI is leading the investigation. We, of course, are partnering with Homeland Security Investigations and the Dallas Police Department, and we're grateful for everybody's work on this case. But we do know that this was an individual who took his own life, and that he, fatally shot one of our victims and then injured two others, and that there was many people, dozens of people in that building that day. So we're working to solve all of the unanswered questions behind this case and to get people answers as soon as possible, but also as we release information to make sure that it's accurate too.
Have you had a chance to be able to get in touch with the families of the person who was killed, the detainee who was killed, or those who were injured?
You know, that hasn't been given to me as information yet because the FBI is leading this investigation, but have been involved from within 5 minutes after the shooting occurred, was immediately.
I'm curious if she comes out with this as like leftist, another example of leftist violence or left-wing extremism. I'm curious if she says anything like that.
By our field director there and through our ICE leadership, and we've been engaged all day in making sure that we can get people as much assistance as they need, but also make sure that these law enforcement investigators have the ability to do the type of work that they need to do. So they're currently assessing the building. We know that there was bullet holes all over the building. It wasn't just targeted at one specific area or through a window, that he showered the building with bullets, and was very much focused on hitting anyone that he could inside and making sure that they were victims of his attack.
Well, nothing so far in that one to suggest that she's willing to come out and say, again, without any corroborating evidence, that, oh yeah, I saw this as well. This was kind of funny too. I don't know if you guys saw this as well, but apparently DHS used Theo Vaughn in one of their, I don't know, propaganda videos. And, you know, Theo Vaughn responded to it, but I guess he got some backlash even on his response. The fucking idiot. Even trying to, he couldn't even do that right. He couldn't even do that right. Because when he says, like, he didn't approve of it. Oh, here it is right here. Yo, DHS, I didn't approve to be used in this. I know you know my address, so send a check. Like, come on. The first thing you think about, the first thing you say is about getting paid from it. And then he goes on to say, and please take this down and please keep me out of your banger deportation videos. When it comes to immigration, my thoughts and heart are a lot more nuanced to this than this video allows. Bye. Well, it's like, okay, well then, do you want a check and for them to keep the video up with your likeness, or do you want them to take it down and clearly you won't get a fucking check? So people are kind of calling him out on that one for even mentioning the thought of money before, having them take it down. But, again, DHS trying to use Theo Vaughn to, again, further their propaganda. And I think there was one more in here as well. Let me see what this one is. Oh, yeah, Tom Homan threatening everybody. Let's see what this guy says here. Hold on, let me see. My apologies. Stop. Bang. Volume up. Go.
Every congressman and governor out there badmouthing ICE ought to be thanking President Trump for making their communities safer today. Every congressman and governor out there.
So this is more along the lines of, anybody calling ICE, a fucking fascist organization, even though that's exactly what they're doing, being used as political pawns by, again, a fascist regime, a fascist government, to, again, enact illegal and unconstitutional policies put in place by this illegal, and unconstitutional administration in itself. But again, they're trying to, again, use that to say that that's the reason behind all these attacks, right? So they're trying to quell and stop everybody from actively and correctly pointing out the fact that they're fascist and authoritarian, and using those same exact tactics that the fascists and authoritarians that do come and pop into your mind when you think of those words used back in the day to, again, enact their murderous policies. And even though the policies that want to be implemented are different, and again, they might not want, a totality of concentration camps or death camps all around, it's still extremely fucking dangerous, and taking away rights from citizens in healthcare away from citizens in this country, which is absolutely going to lead to more death. That's absolutely going to lead to more despair. Again, putting more wealth into the hands of the wealthiest while taking away from the poorest people in this country. And eventually the fucking poorest people, and eventually they're going to rise up. The people are going to fucking rise up, and they're going to have enough, and they're going to put their fucking foot down, and it's not going to be pretty when it happens. But again, you can only push people so far. The human fucking, I think, humans have proved that over a long period of time that, you can only be pushed so far before, you end up fucking snapping and going off on a streak, And I did want to play some of Jimmy Kimmel's. Let me see. Should I? Let me see. Because let me see if I can play clips, because I know there's like I know they love copywriting people, giving copyright strikes to playing any of these late night things here. Let's see if there's any like short clips that I can play. Yeah, here's one of them. Let me see here. Ba-dum-bum. Let me see what he's got going on in this one. This is only a 20-second clip. I'm going to try to play short clips so I don't get hit with a strike here.
You almost have to feel sorry for him. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show.
Oh yeah, that's what we should do. Let me see. What's let's see what his view count is right now on his videos, on that video. Because last I checked, it was like what, 10, 12 million, something like that. Let's see here. 17 million views. Holy shit. Talk about the Streisand effect. Look at this. Look at this. 17.435 million views in 22 hours. He's got more comments. He's got more comments than fucking than views he's probably got. It's gotcha. Mel says it's 26 if you count like the online and the TV viewings of it. It's like yeah, even with Sinclair not having it on like 38 or 40 of their fucking that's crazy. That is fucking wild. Let me see if I can go. I want to see like what was his like other views, right? Let's see what his other views were. Let's see. So that's 17 million, 1.4, 754,000, 3.6 million here. We'll just go to his videos and see what his latest, see how these compare. So 399,000, 199,000, 17 million, 198,000, 138,000, 56,000. So he actually has more comments on his new video than this video got views. 3.9, so that one did well. 55,000. So again, he's got more comments on his recent video than that entire video has views. Zach Brown Band only got 43,000. 1.3 on John Oliver. 4.4 on Trump. So Jesus Christ, it's not out of the realm, millions of views, but 17 million. I don't know when's the last time. What's the most he had before? Hell, I'll just go to the popular ones. Can you go to popular? Yeah, popular. What's his most popular video? 80 million, 78 million, 71, 63. But these are all 10 years ago. These are all old, right? 15, 13 years ago. 9 years ago, 10 years ago, 10 years ago. What's like the most recent? 3 years ago. So 31 with Mike Tyson. But the rest of these are like fucking pretty long time ago. Didn't seem like he's had a banger like that, 17 million, a while. Thanks to Donald Trump. Dude, the funny part is literally Sinclair had him on off of like 38 different fucking networks, right? Around the country. Because Sinclair, the MAGA fucking corporation, the MAGA loving corporation who owns, I believe, the majority of, oh my goodness, Yvonne, get the fuck out of here. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Queen. Let's go. Thank you, Yvonne. What the blood clot? Thank you, Yvonne. Jesus, that's fucking incredible. Thank you. And to the 50 people who are now receiving memberships, please reach out to Yvonne. Make sure you thank her for her kind and generous fucking contribution there. Oh, I can't thank you enough, dear. It means the world to me. I appreciate that very much. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's more awesome than the 17 million views on Jimmy Kimmel's video. I can tell you that much. But thank you so much. I really do mean that. I really do mean that. That's incredible. Let's see. What time we got? 7:12. See, what else did I have for you guys here? Let me put this up back on the screen. But yeah, so congrats to Jimmy. Oh yeah, let me see if I can find a couple more of his. I think there was a couple more clips from this that I could pull here because he had a couple good points. I think he was actually, really emotional at one of these points here. Let me see if I can put this on. Let me see what you guys are seeing so I can make sure that I'm not just staring at myself, which you are. Let's see what he says in this one.
He's gunning for our journalists too. He's suing them. He's bullying them. Over the weekend, his Foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is.
Now, the irony about that, right? The irony on that is that's the guy telling, the journalist in that, the same guy that allowed a journalist into his Signal chat and then released fucking information that he shouldn't have released, right? Classified information, the same information he's now making the press pool people sign. That guy was the same guy that is now forcing these people to sign a fucking statement saying they will not do the exact same fucking thing that he himself did as Secretary of Defense. How fucking wild is that?
But it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it. Walter Cronkite must be spinning in his grave right now. He's dead, right? Yeah.
All right, see if we can get another one. Let's see what this one was. Let's see here.
This country. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country. And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American, and it is so dangerous. I want you to think about this. Should the government be allowed to regulate which podcasts the cell phone companies and Wi-Fi providers are allowed to let you download to make sure they serve the public interest? Do you think that sounds crazy? No! 10 years ago, this sounded crazy. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, telling an American company, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that these companies can find ways to change conduct and take action on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead, in addition to being a direct violation of the First Amendment, is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public.
Right? Let's see. There's probably a couple more here. I think this is... Oh, yeah, he's talking about getting people fired from their jobs.
President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. He was somehow able to squeeze Colbert out of CBS. Then he turned his sights on me. And now he's openly rooting for NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and the hundreds of Americans who work for their show,
hold on,
who don't make millions of dollars. And I hope that if that happens, or if there's even any hint of that happening, you will be 10 times as loud as you were this week. We have to speak out against this.
Let me see if I can go to fucking the truth stinkhole too, because I think Trump had a statement on this. He was really unhappy that Jimmy Kimmel was going to be back on the air. Here it is right here. I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel back his job. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone. His audience is gone. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How many views? How many views did he get? I think, hold on, Mel just sent me something from AP. ABC reporting nearly 6.3 million people tuned into the broadcast alone. Despite the blackouts in many cities, as it is often the case with late-night host monologues, there was a larger audience online with more than 15 million people watching Kimmel's opening remarks on YouTube by Wednesday evening. ABC had more than 26 million people have watched Kimmel's return on social media, including YouTube. His audience is gone. Holy shit. And his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly? Streisand, who's not funny and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage. He is yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. He's saying that as president. Last time I went after these people, they gave me $16 million. That this one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy rot in his bad ratings. Again, I give you Jimmy Kimmel's fucking view count just on YouTube alone, ladies and gentlemen. Just on YouTube alone. 17,522,477 people have now tuned into this in 22 hours. Get fucked, Donald Trump. Oh, hold on. I got something for that. Oh, no. What'd I do with it? Did I get rid of it? No. That means I got to find it again. Hold on. I will. I'll find it again. Oh, me. Here it is. Here it is. This is the response. This is the response. This is the response.
I've got but one thing to say. Just one little phrase. tell them, go fuck yourself. 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 Wait, bring it down, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Everybody. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck
Oh, I could do that all night. I could do that all night. Woo!
I've got but one thing to say.
Fuck it, fuck it.
One little phrase. You tell them, go fuck yourself. 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 Wait, bring it down, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Everybody. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
We're grooving. We're grooving. I gotta hit the gym. Woo! All right. We're back. We're back. Woo! Good Lord, who needs the gym? Who needs the gym? We just tell Donald Trump to go fuck himself every night. We'd be the fucking healthiest motherfuckers on the planet. All right. Woo! I should do that more often. That was fun as a motherfucker. Woo! All right, I'm back. I'm back. Oh. How'd you guys do? Did you guys do all right? You dance? Everybody dancing? Everybody jumping up, huh? Tell me. There's no way you weren't up at least once in those fucking times. There's no way. All righty. Woo! Woo! Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Oh, that's too good. It's too good. That's going to have to go in the rotation. That's going to have to go in the rotation. I'm serious. I mean, I could seriously do a couple hours on a treadmill to that, you know? Oh, shit. Oh, that was great. I appreciated that. That's fucking too good, though. Come on now. All right, I don't know if I have enough time left to get into anything now. I'd ruined it by having a dance party.
I'm embarrassed.
No way. That was awesome. That was the best moment in Blunt Politics history right there so far of the show. Mel says keep it in the room. Oh, that was fucking priceless. That was fucking priceless. All right, let's see. We only got a couple minutes, so there's only about one thing that I could probably fit in that short period of time. Woo! I'm still trying to catch my fucking breath. What an out of shape fat fuck I am. Good Lord. All right. Woo! So this is pertaining to the government. Oh, thank you, James. Buggy bonus. Thank you, brother. Is my nose running, or did you talk about me dancing? I'm not sure. Shut up. All right. Let's see what we can get out of this clip. We only got a couple minutes left anyway. Fucking hell. All right. So this is Dana Bash questioning Chuck Schumer about the government shutdown. And again, there's a good point in this, and then again, a point where at some point you're going to have to put your foot down. You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to stand up for what you believe, and you're going to have to fucking, unfortunately, make some sacrifices if that is the case, and that is the plan, and that is the, the actual plan of attack. All right. What I do like about this is him trying to, frame this as the Trump shutdown, the Republican shutdown, which is, again, the rhetoric and the way that we should be framing this, right? This is not the Democrats if it comes to this shutting this down. This is Donald Trump being unable to come to the table with negotiations. This is him being totally unreasonable, totally unethical, illegal, unconstitutional, and it will be his fault alone that this government will shut down if it comes to that, right? Which is what he should be saying. And he gets it right by calling it the Trump shutdown, but again, does not follow it up with anything but definitive, right? With anything like fucking, show me some power. Show me that you have some power, right? So let me see if I can get into this one. Go fuck yourself. I can't stop thinking about that.
We are hoping that he will negotiate with us.
And if he
so
doesn't?
far he hasn't. And we've had 2 bills in the House and Senate, and neither of them have passed. Our Democrats are firm. We need to get something done to relieve the distress the American people are in.
Okay, that sounded like a yes, but you can confirm that, and then I want to move on.
My fault. I think I missed a couple seconds.
Nothing changes, negotiation or not. There will be a vote on the day of the deadline, a week from Tuesday. If nothing changes, are you going to vote no and urge your Democratic colleagues to vote no, which will end with the shutdown?
Look, we hope it doesn't come to that.
But what if it does?
Because everyone knows the American people are on our side, Dana. By almost 2 to 1, they believe if there's a shutdown, it's going to be caused by Trump. Because
all right, great. Perfect way to phrase that. Perfect way to frame it. I am in total agreement with that's how the Democrats should be framing this. If that's what it comes down to, this is going to be the Trump shutdown. This is going to be because of Trump's stubborn ass, because of his incompetent, ignorant, fucking corrupt ass. And this is not going to be because of the Democrats who, again, want to get things done for the American people. That's how this should be framed. But when you're asked, are you going to step up to the plate and are you going to take the fucking swings necessary to put the foot down and show these people and show this government that you mean business and you're not going to just sit here and play ball every fucking time? And he doesn't give a sufficient answer. He doesn't give anything. It's again with this fucking political, bullshit, this political fucking nonsense, this political jargon that really is meaningless in the grand scheme of things.
No. How much they want relief in the healthcare issue, and they know he's not negotiating. So it's up to them, and I hope and pray that Trump will sit down with us.
Prayers. Tell us what you're going to do. Tell us what you're demanding of this government. Tell them what you want to see. Tell them what you want to fucking see changed in order to, allow the government to continue to go along with its fucking processes.
And negotiate a bipartisan bill. That's how it's always been done in the past. That's how shutdowns have been avoided in the past.
And if he doesn't, I'm just confirming here, you will vote no. Is that correct?
We are hoping.
Again, just with this is like the same fucking shit you get when you ask Hakeem Jeffries and fucking these assholes, why don't you support and come out and support Zohran Mamdani, right? Like, what are you waiting for? Well, let me give you some political backspeak that has absolutely nothing to do with the original question, and it's going to sound like I had some pretty good things to say, but in reality, I am going to dodge that question 1,000% there, Dana. Like, bullshit, useless fucking nonsense. Come out and show some fight. Show some fucking balls here. Not just a strongly worded fucking interview or a strongly worded letter. Or we will win, we will win, we will win. Shut the fuck up. Tell me what you're going to do or what you fucking demand in this government. This is the fucking leadership we got? The fuck out of here. All right, well, I don't want to end this. I don't want to end it on a bad note, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to end it on a bad note. I really don't. I don't think we can handle that. Don't think we can handle that. It's unfortunate. But, we might have to. Come on. One more time. Come on. Where is it? Let's.
I've got but one thing to say. Just one little phrase. You tell them. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck Wait, bring it down, Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Everybody. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck
We're back. Oh, that may be the new theme song. We might have to change that to the new fucking theme. That may have to be the cold opening. Woo! All right, guys, let's get into thanking some people, and I'll get you fabulous motherfuckers out of here tonight. Let me see if anybody was dumb enough to give me any money on Venmo. Oh, fuck. Go fuck yourself. I'll be singing that in my motherfucking sleep. Let's see here. Nancy, thank you so much. Love you. Appreciate it. Teague, thank you so much as always. Who else? Jim, thank you so much. Allison, Nancy, you guys are fantastic. Let me see here. I'm trying to catch my breath again. Let me see if there's anybody here on YouTube's. Nancy, let's fucking go. I appreciate you, Nancy. I really do. You're just a gem. You are a fucking gem. Tell the pup I said hi. I hope he's still not sleeping in your space there. But I do appreciate you being here. I appreciate your contributions. And make sure everybody's thanking anybody who's gifting memberships out there, because I do appreciate it. 5 Alarm, what's up, my dude? Let's fucking go. I've heard MAGA say CK died for their sins. Yeah. Okay. There's some crazy fucking shit going on. There is. Sweat like a fucking whore in church. Go fuck yourself. I can't. Thank you, 5 Alarm. I really appreciate it. And right back at it, too, 5 Alarm. Thank you so much, dude. Brian, would you be interested in joining our multi-content creator Discord? We're working with several that are joining. Reaching out to the Angry Ginger and or Mr. Straight Facts, who have my personal cell. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not huge on Discord, but if somebody can show me how to use the fucking thing correctly, I'll be happy to participate for sure. Let me know. I appreciate your contributions. Appreciate you being here too. Thank you, Annoyed as Fuck. Love Boston Brian and watch YouTube and the Enforcer. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Also, an Enforcer watcher myself. Thank you, Annoyed as Fuck. Appreciate you being here for 2 months as well. That's very nice of you. Appreciate your loyalty. Let's see here. Raspberry Skittlebutt Dragon. If the Nobel people offered Trump a peace prize for taking Putin out, would he do it? Someone should put the idea in his head. You know, here, okay, you might be onto something there. Might be onto something there. Christ, I'm still trying to catch my breath. Treva, thank you so much for the 13 months. No matter where you go, there you are. I appreciate it. I really do. And thank you, Skittlebutt, by the way, again, for the 5. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jim, for the 16 months, but you can't get there from here. Fuck, I'm always out of the loop by the time we get to the comments. 5 Alarm. Holy shit, dude. Big night, man. Big night. I appreciate that, dude. Not only your kind and generous, contribution financially, but the gifting of the memberships. That's awesome of you. That's really fucking awesome of you, and I really appreciate you for doing it. I do. So, Nally B, what's going on? What's good? Canada just signed a trade deal with Indonesia. Jesus, it's kind of like they're looking for other places, any place other than the United States to kind of do business with. That's crazy. But I appreciate you, Ali B, for being here. I really do. Thank you so much. Kay, thank you. We can't trust anything this QAnon FBI says. Legitimately, at this point, trust absolutely not a word unless you can literally corroborate it and confirm it with your own fucking eyes at this point. Like, there is just nothing that I believe coming out from this government, I should say. You know what I mean? Any agency that is now being run by a corrupt piece of shit that Donald Trump put in power, or a Russian asset and tell us I mean, come on. I mean, it's just any way you look, it's corruption and incompetence at every fucking turn. Thank you, Melody. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Welcome to the family. I hope you find a warm and welcoming place there in the chat. And Yvonne, oh my goodness. I mean, that's huge. That is fucking huge. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the info. You continuously send me all the emails and the clips and the lovely notes and the telling me about your garden and stuff. I really appreciate it. It's very nice of you. And thank you so much for your incredibly generous 50 gifted memberships. That's just fucking huge. So thank you. I think we're on our way to 1,000 memberships, guys, which again, I think that's pretty good for a channel with less than 15,000 subscribers, right? To have 1,000 members, I think that's a pretty good fucking ratio, if I do say so myself. I don't know if that's confirmed or denied, but I don't know. I'm going with a good ratio. So thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, JD, as always, for the bookie bonus. I appreciate that. Yvonne, again. Nah, man, match for me on the dance floor. You did try, though, honey. Yeah. Dude, just give me some practice. I can tell you, I cut a rug with the best of them. I used to be the wedding entertainment, when I was young. I'd go out and just I'd cheese it up out there. But I appreciate you, Yvonne. Maybe we'll have the opportunity someday to cut the same rug. And thank you so much, Bethany. I appreciate it for the dancing and singing. Thank you so much, Michael Iris. Nazis lose with you and you and our voices together. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much for always being here. Thank you so much for always contributing. It's really nice to see. It's really nice to have you guys around. Thank you for your support. It's really nice to know that you have a community behind you, regardless of how big, regardless of how many of people that really believe in what you do and what you stand for. So it's very nice to see you guys here all the time. It really is. So thank you for the second dance. You are awesome. I appreciate that, Laurie. I hope you guys were up and about too. I hope at least at one of the times that I made an ass out of myself tonight, you were up making an ass out of yourself with me. That's the only thing I can hope for. But Brian, I can do the splits at 63. God damn it. What about you, honey? I'll send you an email with the evidence. No, I believe it. I promise. I wouldn't doubt you. I wouldn't doubt you, Yvonne. I'm not going to make you do that. I believe you. And no, by no means whatsoever could I ever do a split at any age. 3, 63, 13, 23, 33. Doesn't matter. No. I was flexible, but not that flexible. So thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate that. I really do. J-Star, what's up? What's going on? What a beautiful cat. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava, right back at you, J-Star. I appreciate that. I really do. And I think that rounds out everybody tonight. I'll let you guys get on with your evening. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow for the Thursday show. Make sure you're tuned in. It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. 11 a.m. Pacific. You'd think one of those days I'd have that down pat, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to go hit the showers now. I didn't expect to be fucking, all up and about and fucking dancing and huffing and puffing here. We had a good night. Killed a couple calories, burnt a couple calories, had a couple laughs, made fun of a couple morons. What more can you ask for in a political commentating show, huh? What more can you fucking look for? Why we don't have 100,000 subscribers? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I don't fucking know. But I appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Go hit the showers. Go hit the bricks. But make sure you're getting out there, staying out there, find your nearest protest, find your nearest rally. Stay proud, stay loud, stay fucking aggressive out there. Because, again, with the special election wins, with the, gaining more momentum as midterms creep up on us very quickly, we're going to be right in the thick of things very quick, and we need to make sure that we have our shit together. And I hope to do that with you guys as the community, with you guys behind me fighting alongside you. And I'm very proud to do so. So I will see you tomorrow for the Thursday show. Make sure you guys hitting the like, subscribe on the way out if you're not already. A lot of people watch, but you're not subscribed. It's 100% free to do so. It's just one click. It doesn't cost you anything. And make sure on all the different platforms, whether it be Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, or Twitch, YouTube, one of the two I met or said twice, but make sure you're liking or doing the respective things on there. It really goes a long way in showing the algorithm that you do care and like the show, and that other people may enjoy watching the show as well. So I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for a good night. It's been fun. Hit the showers, you suckers. Night, James. Thank you, guys. Thank you, mods. Rosanna. Thank you, Rosanna. Appreciate that. 12 months. Let's go. 1 year, baby. Happy birthday to everybody.
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
We appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time.
I mean, they've been conserved since the time of lobsters, right? There weren't trees around when lobsters first manifested themselves on the planet.
We always do about this time.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful, give yourself a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely. Where you going? Nowhere.
Builds the wall the way he built Trump Towers, he'll be using illegal immigrant labor to do it.
Army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
And Gavin Newsom is going to sign those papers. And if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put out all his fires. And if we don't give him the money to put out his fires, he's got problems. He's a lousy governor.
I ain't falling for no banana in my tan tank.
Venezuela. Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela. It's unbelievable. Shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam. I know words. I have the best words. But there's no better word than stupid.
Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so...
Venezuela. Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela. Unbelievable.
You're a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will water coming here is dead. Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. Eating the dogs. You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street killers. They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means?
A crescendo, a finale, a coup de grace.
You know, he wanted to debate. If we didn't have a debate, he'd still be there. Can you imagine if we didn't have a debate? Why the hell did I debate him?
Yes, of course, hence the name. Movement, it moves a certain distance, then it stops, you see. Revolution gets its name by always coming back around in your face. You tried to kill me, you son of a bitch. So welcome to the revolution.
You will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Obama.
Call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
Yesterday's a hard word for me. Vagina.
The big, fat, sloppy United States.